I want to thank you very much for receiving us and spending time with us today. So I have just a small gift for you from all of us. It's a little broadside about African American history in Atlanta, some pecans, and also some maple syrup from the United States.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. One particular text, the Dharmakirti's text, the second chapter, actually some detailed commentary about the Digna's text, about epistemology, wonderful. So there, you see,
the salutation verse of the Abhidhamma Samuccaya, Brahmana Samuccaya by Dignaga.
Oh. So that's wonderful. I think explanation which mentioned in Lamrim Chijung, not adequate. So Dignax, you see that one sentence, or actually the two verse, Samarkyuba, Dola Panshaba, Damba Teshikyo. So wonderful. So I think really worthwhile teach, isn't that? And Abhidhamma Sama Kalangara. Abhisamaya Kalangara. It's a very, very important text, but very sophisticated. The subject so vast, difficult. So sometimes we need one way, the thorough explanation about the vast subject. At the same time, some sort of kasuda, take some essence. So, indeed, I am very happy. Again, meet some group from Emory University, as a your program. So wonderful. Then a special greeting as a honorary Kaza.
Distinguished professor.
Kaza.
Presidential distinguished professor.
Distinguished professor of your university. So in that name, special greetings. But meantime, the very day when I received that sort of honorary degree, I mentioned one way I feel great honor and feel very happy, but actually I'm a very, very hopeless professor. Firstly, no sufficient time to prepare, and secondly, I'm quite lazy. So just I mentioned this is my friend I met. You see, the person, one Hindu practitioner, he spent, I think, around about 3 hours meditation. Then I told him, me also, you see, 4 or 5 hours meditation. But sometimes I feel that too much time for meditation, so that if you do not meditate properly or progressively, then 5 hours meditation is a waste of time. I told him like that. So, I think firstly, you are showing interest about Tibetan culture. Tibetan culture very much based on Buddhism. Buddhism which we study and practice is directly come from Nalanda tradition. So Nalanda, I think in early period, I think it become really, I think, best institution for study, mainly Buddhist philosophy, and then also some other subjects, medicine, of course, grammar, and many other, I think including some chemistry work, like that. So that remain, I think, few centuries as a top learning center. So 8th century, Tibetan emperor, Trisong Tezin, he invited, I think almost at that time, 8th century, I think best scholar of Nalanda institution, Shantarakshita, invited. Then Shantarakshita, his age, according Indian historian, his age already around 70 years old, quite old. And then, of course, at that time, no airplane, no motor. So, by war and best horse and yak, some area. And when we're passing through mountain, yak is the best. They are hooves. Is something quite sort of well equipped on rocky area. I also have some experiences. So the right horse on plane, very good. Chop, 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 chop. Very good. And especially, you see, when a little bit faster, you see, there, because of this, there,
The main, now the main, the head.
And a little faster, you see, that go like that. So you feel very fresh and full of energy like that. When you see the horse a little bit tired, and go like that, drop. So we also feel sleepy. But on rocky area, more dangerous. Yak or zo, very smooth. Because of the Tanzania research.
They don't feel tired.
Wonderful. So I think the Tibetan emperor, I think, must provide one yak when he invited to Lhasa, like that. So therefore, and then we Tibetan also, you see, I think, sincerely follow his instruction. So we pay much attention, study, not just prayer, faith, study, study, study. So till now, in order to become as an authentic scholar, you need 20, 30 years study. The way study, firstly, the root text, learn by heart, memorize. Then commentary, each word explain. Then debate, a dialectical debate, like that. So, our system, the typical Nalanda tradition, you see, we very much sort of emphasis dialectical sort of discussion. So therefore, all those the summation.
Now the text on logic and epistemology.
I think in Chinese tradition, one short text wrote by Dignac, Rico, that seems to say available, Chinese translation. But rest of Dignac's main text and Dharmakirti's So,
The 7 treatises on logic and epistemology by Dharmakirti were not translated into Chinese.
So, and then those Pali tradition, of course, they not much pay attention about the Sanskrit tradition, Sanskrit text. And China, and through China, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, all these, this is the same, the Abhisamaya Alankara. Actually, the root text of Abhisamaya Alankara is the Panchaparamita Sutra. That is something common, all these countries. But the epistemology, logic, that's, I think, more complete translation, only in Tibetan. So then, Tibetan Buddhist tradition is become something unique, just one, unique, like that. So the epistemology really help us sharpening our mind. This is debate. Is the way carry debate is always try to contradiction from others' viewpoint. So try to find a sort of false of other sort of view. Then debate like that. So that helpful, sharpening our mind. I was told one Bhutanese, I think daughter of one Bhutanese officials, she sort of joined some Bhutanese, listen some teaching from one Tibetan scholar. So she participated. Then gradually she also learned the dialectic sort of the debate. So her sort of study, a special study is law. So then later she told to some friend, when she sort of practiced lawyer, her sort of knowledge about the dialectic sort of knowledge is immense helpful. So these are not just like a part of religious practice, but these are actually part of education and academic sharpening our mind. So it is applicable to, I think, in all subjects. Clear. No. So this is very helpful to develop investigation. This very room, number of occasions you see discussion with scientists. So quite often you see these top scholars or scientists, you see when they make presentation with full sort of confidence about their own subject, their own paper. We listen carefully. Then, after their presentation, then usually we start discussions. So then, so with respect and a gentle way, raise some little contradiction here and there. Then those sort of scholars, they actually express, no, I have to think this more seriously. It happened like that. So therefore, of course, those monk students, they have not much sort of knowledge about modern science on these things, something new. But still, they have this sort of ability to sort of investigate, to analyze like that. So that I want to share with you. And then me personally, my 3 commitments. Number 1 commitment, as a human being, I always telling everywhere when I give talk. Now we need sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. I think too much emphasis, we and they, actually create a lot of problem. No help solving our problem. Creates more problem. If you too much emphasis, we and they. So finally, self-centered, even same family, one person, too much self-centered attitude, even family will not get real peaceful, real happy family, isn't it? So all problem, actually, not different views or different concept or different faith, but narrow, self-centered attitude. That's really source of problem. If we carry that, then religion also then become the source of problem, isn't it? So therefore, we really need now problem. Like I think the Malaysia plane is disappear. Now Japan, China, usually it's very difficult relations, but now this matter also you see because of joint effort. And then Australia, of course, and then Indonesia, and then America, and I think British also. I think that kind of cooperation really we need. One plane disappear, about 100, 230, right, 39 life. Of course, serious. But the concern of 7 billion human beings, we really need genuine cooperation, not divide. Isn't it? So therefore, we really need. I think the spirit is there. Human history, like hospital, never discriminate. You come from this nation, from where? So your nationality or your belief. Never ask, isn't it? Any patient come, accept, and give treatment. So our spirit is there. So now that must extend. This is number one commitment. Second commitment as a Buddhist, promotion of religious harmony. The old major religious tradition. In philosophical field, differences. But the purpose of these different philosophical views is same, to develop full conviction about the value of compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, simplicity, these things. So for that practice, use different philosophy. Some say there's creator. We are just
We're just creation.
Creation. And also I think in order to give us some kind of enthusiasm, the concept of creator, very helpful. You see, since creator created us, so we also, each of us have some kind of spark of creator, isn't it? We carry father's gene, something like that. God creates us. So we also have some kind of spark of God. So God means infinite love. So everyone have that potential. Then non-theistic religion, no creator, no concept of creator, but rather self-creation. But at the same time, emphasis. If you carry good action, good motivation, you get benefit. So everything depends on yourself. That way of approach, to some people, very effective. So, different contradictory sort of method, but same goal. Okay. I think two years ago, I was in South India. One occasion in Bangalore, some Indian spiritual leader who really committed immense sort of help to thousands students, provide meal. Wonderful. So they invited me, and then I visited, their sort of headquarters and some discussions, and their temple also. Then I have some sort of talk or the discussion, right, casual talk with that sadhu, and I told him, the training of mind, single-pointed mind, and analytical sort of meditation. These are common Hindus and Buddhists. And then also the three trainings, Shila, Samadhi, Paranja, same, Hindus and Buddhists. The difference is Atma and Anatma, self, independent self, and absence of independent self. That's the differences. Then I told him, this is private business. You believe independent self. Good, you believe that. I believe selflessness. That's much helpful. So I believe that. So that's private business. No problem. So he says, those people who believe creator, that's their business. We do not believe creator. Okay, that's very good. So our common practice is be kind person, honest person, truthful person. Clear. So then, no problem. So that's my way to promoting religious harmony. And then third, as a Tibetan, now, as far as political responsibility is concerned, I completely retired now. Since 2001, semi-retired. So the 2011, now completely retired now. But you see, my main concern is, you see, still I'm Tibetan. So therefore, you see, as a Tibetan, I feel the Tibetan sort of culture or language, I think Tibetan language is now today, as far as Buddhist, the language which explains about Buddhist philosophy is concerned, I think Tibetan language is the best language, isn't it? I think all translation from Sanskrit to Tibetan, I think very precise, very authentic. Now many scholars. So you also scholar. So what do you find? A Chinese translation, Tibetan translation. I think Tibetan translation, many scholars say Tibetan translation is more authentic, isn't it? More clear, like that. So you see this language, as far as Nalanda tradition is concerned, I think best language. Explain or kasota study like that. So it is really worthwhile to preserve. So that's three commitments. So I just share, you see, my own commitment to you and you as our friend or my friend, and think these things and make whatever way, make some contribution, promotion of sense of oneness of humanity, your own way. The change will not come from order, but individual. Finally, individual have the responsibility. We start share this concept with our friend. From one person, 10%, 10%, 100%, 100%, 1,000%, like that. Then also we seriously, with help of scientists and educationists, and including you, your institution, your university, we are seriously now committing, making some kind of secular ethics, education about secular ethics. Now some questions.
So please start with your question.
Your Holiness, what is the most important thing a student can learn from a teacher and that a teacher can learn from a student?
가져사. 이게 I think, you see, the Arya Deva, and 400 verses, mentioned the student, teacher, must sort of develop genuine sense of concern of student. I think the reality of student is something to learn. Lama said is,
The student in Tibetan is called Lama, someone who needs to learn from somebody else.
So therefore, the teacher should have sort of full sort of responsibility or sense of concern of how to help them, number one. Then way to help according to the students, you see, different nature. Some are more sharp mind, some less, some more patience, some are less patience. So you see, accordingly, judging their sort of individual sort of nature. Then one verse I mentioned, if the student a little bit angry type, then you should pay more attention about compassion or these things. A student a little bit too much proud, then you need a little bit sort of it mentioned like that. So the ultimate sort of motivation is the best way to help them. So once the teacher really shows genuine sense of sort of responsibility, sense of concern of their well-being, then student automatically show more respect, more trust. So I think first, it is wrong to expect something right attitude from student is wrong. Teacher side must show the right kind of attitude. Then response from student side come. So then actually good relation with trust, with respect, student, teacher, then I think study will be very, very successful. And then also you see the teaching of moral ethics, not just by word, but through action. Next question.
Your Holiness, what is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen?
Karsa. Beautiful face. One Nobel laureate, the Karsa Kong sent Karsa. What? The Betty William Marbe, Parish, Betty William. Since you see, we become very close friend. One time, one interview, some experience. The Betty William, this explained in Ireland, some sort of fighting, some children killed. That moment, she felt some kind of determination. Now I must do something for children. When she explained that, tear comes. So this is not sort of mere a nice statement, but real feeling, expression of real feeling. Then I develop genuine respect. So we become a very close friend. Then she quite often is telling me, she loves me. Then one day she told me she wants to marry with me. So then I told her, Of course, this is both sides, it's a joke. So then I respond him, sure, oh, too old now. You are too old. Then next time we met in New York, she brought her daughter. So then she told me, now young girl is here. I think beautiful. External beautiful. That's not important. Some water to it. There was water to it. So, again, you see, when I give talk, I teasing these young sort of girls. External beauty is important, no question. But internal beauty is more important. Without internal beauty, just on the basis of external beauty, marriage, then that will not be happy marriage. Within a few days, quarrel may start, and then eventually divorce. Some of my friend, some American, I think 3 times, 4 times remarriage survey, new marriage survey.
4 times.
Mother, divorce, again marriage, a new couple, right? A new friend. So, some of them have children. It's quite difficult. Children, you see, they fully trust their parent, and then parent divide. I think something very, very sad. So in any way, in order to have happy marriage, not only happy marriage, but long-lasting marriage, is inner beauty is the key factor. So then, more compassionate person, genuine compassionate, like Mother Teresa and her follower. I met a number of them, totally dedicated, serving to people, particularly poor people. So that's a real beauty, real beauty. Although affection is common with animal, even birds. But these birds, animal, they cannot extend their affection to strangers, to different species of mammals. We human beings, biologically, we also have the affection thus oriented about others' attitude. So that love, compassion only towards their friend. With help of human intelligence, now for example, oneness of humanity, thinking more these things, then you can extend your love and affection to entire humanity, including your enemy. We have that ability because of this intelligence, isn't it? So these Christian brothers, sisters, totally dedicated because of their life for well-being, serving for others. That's a real beauty. When we saw these things, and you have tremendous sorrow because of the admiration and sort of the satisfaction. We need that kind of sorrow because of the dedication. Then that's the real basis of our hope of future. Not technology, not money, not military power, but that inner beauty. It's the real ultimate source of our hope. We have that biologically, then this intelligence. So through education, so educate people. That's ultimate source of happy life, happy world. That's the ultimate source or strength of build happy 21st century. Clear? So the education center all education sort of institution have very, very important to cultivate, to educate these things. Of course, other technology, these things are very, very important. But ultimately, this world, happy world, then each individual naturally be happy. I just met one Indian lawyer, justice. He mentioned he come from poorest to poor. Right? No, no land, just one room. And his father, some education by herself, social. No. Then, so when he explained his own, in Haryana, quite near, really, because of the caste system, the upper caste, all land owned by these people. And because of that, you see, they become rich and quite influential. The poor, no land, no one help, and these poor people cannot meal together with upper people, upper class people. So they almost, you see, kasuta, me member sosta.
They are almost like outcasts.
So when he explained that, then recently I was in Delhi to participate because of leprosy.
In a leprosy colony.
And one Japanese rich family, Sasakawa. Since he also is a sponsor the Forum of 2000 in Czechoslovakia, in Czech Republic. So since then I know him. So recently he come to see me and he told me he is now sponsoring, helping those organizations who are helping leprosy people. And he invited. Now this time I went there. As soon as I come out from my car, I saw my friend. Then instead of approach them, I approached to those sick people. Lost hand, finger, and some wound. Not outside, because of the because of
the leprosy deformed.
I approached them, and my tear come. Very sad. These are human beings. The society sometimes distance from these people. Never shake hand. I shake hand and also touch because of the head. No? Some are blind. So those people who dedicated serving these people are the real beauty of human being. Really wonderful. So then because of the Sasakawa, I know him, so I mentioned, you are a millionaire, perhaps I don't know, billionaire or millionaire, I think millionaire. So I told him, your money is very useful. Still we need, you make more money than spend to these poor people. Otherwise, you see, those millionaire, the money used for their luxurious lifestyle, it's silly. Waste of money, isn't it? Some American billionaire, I think, spend a lot of money, isn't it, for helping. So that's very good. So I told them, so just Justice Kazoda, Tagianda, a judge. And after we discussing, after listen, you see his sort of story. Then I promise, now I will be Kurangati Kazo Munichigi is again. So he should now he already start very small school. Pukasasa, about 70 children. So then I told him, now this year should sort of extend 200 or 150. Then classroom, you should, the money matter, my trust, about 500,000. I can donate. Then next few years, look how many sort of progress. So that's our sort of nature duty. No account faith, no account nationality, still a human being. I think we have that kind of sort of ability. So in the past, American Peace Corps, so different places, many of them I know, totally dedicated to the local people, because of helping the local people. I suggested to Japanese, firstly, young Japanese student in school should learn English. Then secondly, those speak some knowledge about English, then you see they can work in different places. And then something like Peace Corps, you see, should start. Some say, you see, some Japanese organizations are doing that. So otherwise, you see, this small island, big population, even like that. Then suicide. A lot of sort of depression and loneliness, particularly among the younger students. So once you see they learn English, then you see much easier go outside, communicate with other people. And then they have the education ability and instrument and help Africa or Middle East in this different area. Then you see the young Japanese feel more sort of also the self-confidence. Now I can be very useful. So then they will realize their own living standard in their own country, education and everything very good. Then they get more satisfaction, isn't it? Otherwise, there's very dense populated area, small, and the house also small, their physical also small, like that.